when you get your plant. You put it like this. I'm going to try cauliflower in a large pot, so you can put it in any sun that it needs, in any environment. First of all, I put some bark in. Put a good amount of bark so it covers the bottom. Make sure your bottom has holes in it and it's got a tray. Make sure you do that. Yeah, and then you want some really good quality soil, like some potting mix type soil. So for me, I only use seals. So seals is the way to go. So I like to use seals. I throw a bunch in at first. I throw a whole lot in with a pot this big. In fact, this will take me a while if I was to do it this much at this rate, but I'm going to for the sake of this video. But when I get to a certain level, I like to throw some peat moss in. What peat moss does, it actually lightens up the soil. It adds actual area to the soil without adding, it's light, see, without adding heaviness. It allows drainage. It makes drainage good. Put some peat moss in, but mix that around, just only on the top though. So if you can see, I'm only agitating the top. So we just agitate the top, yeah, and then I go and add another little bit of this, and I get a little bit less and less of anything I'm adding to aerate, like peat moss, or to add drainage, like also something else that I add. Perlite. Now this is not often used in pots this big, alright, but I often add a little bit, like midway, so I add a little bit like this, add a little bit just to aerate a little bit, just add a bit so it doesn't become too muddy. And if you're in a humid area like this, it might become muddy, you know, like when you water it, it's going to sit a bit, you need a bit of that. So then by this stage, I'm in about 3/4 of my pot, no, sorry, a third of my pot, and then I add a tiny bit of bark, just to add a little bit, and mix it around a bit. I go back to my soil. I know I've got some good drainage then. So that's what good drainage is. That's what you need. I learned all this because I was dedicated to learning. And you can learn it all online, I guess, or you can learn it from me. So yeah, just a little bit of this. Every so often, but only mix light on the top. It's only going like this top layer, and then keep layering it up. Keep layering it up, especially when it comes to the vegetables, which I'm going to try and do the cauliflower in this pot. As you would know, cauliflower, whichever sprout takes well, is going to take up most of the pot. But this way, I can transfer it to any area of the garden that has the best sun for its needs, and I'll be able to tell from its leaves. That's in my next video. Anyway, so I keep doing this. Eventually, I got to plant my cauliflower. So now I'm going to do the cauliflower. So I've got my micro digger. So I just only need a micro digger really. That's all I really need. I just dig a hole big enough for this. Now this is looking a bit wilted. It was a like Bunnings bought. I wouldn't recommend that. I would say go to your local nursery all the time. Like stick to your local nursery, a proper planting place that probably has plants and they're passionate about plants. You're always going to end up with a better plant, even if you have to pay a couple of extra dollars for those seedlings. It's always going to be worth it. So I wouldn't recommend this. Look at the species I got. So anyway, specimen, sorry. Species. I'm cute with my rollins. So just break up the roots a little bit. Make sure it's just a little bit broken up, but don't be too harsh with it. Just lightly make it loose and just neatly pop it in so that all the leaves are not buried down. Be careful to not damage any leaves if you can. But make sure like the root there is a little bit firm. But you know, try not to affect any of the leaves. And you watch this, like I'm only going to give it a little bit of a water with my mini can here. My can here can also be like a spray bottle, like, yeah. So it's great for herb planting and things like that, and really light seedlings. But this is the one I choose to use for any kind of replanting. It's not going to traumatize the plant any for being transplanted. And that's all you need to give it for a little bit. Now you can choose to leave it in the afternoon sun if you want, but I prefer if it went straight in the shade for the first day or two. Straight in the shade. I give it that chance to root a little bit, and then it'll be a perfect little baby.